Hello, everyone. Welcome to the session Lightning Talk ANT350, simplifying permission management for Amazon Redshift warehouses. This is a new launch. So we are launching Amazon Redshift edited permissions that will enable customers to simplify the permission management. I'm Sandeep Advankar. I'm product manager for the AWS and really excited to talk about this new launch. So Redshift is the Amazon's cloud data warehouse. It provides the high scalability across a petabyte of your warehouse scale. It provides like 2x price performance improvements compared to any other solutions warehouse in the market. And it provides the access to data across multiple of the data sets, across multiple of the use cases. What customers are also using is they're building multiple warehouses. As the data is increasing, they want to add additional warehouses. And that's where the multi-warehouse architecture becomes important. Customers can now have data, for example, reporting dashboards or exploratory analytics, or the streaming or batch in different clusters or warehouses. At the same time, keeping those workloads isolated and ability to manage those separately, have the cost attribution, and have a way to start those and manage those very quickly. What we wanted to do with this is to simplify this multi-warehouse architecture. And to do that, what we wanted to do was basically simplify the governance. So for this launch, we thought about what if we can make all the warehouses data accessible for any new warehouse that comes in. For example, you have a new warehouse in the blue, which is the marketing warehouse. You have the marketing data, but this marketing analyst want to access the data across all your other warehouses, right? So your warehouses could be your data science or streaming or others. How can that marketing analyst role start accessing the data without creating additional set of permissions? What if the access is based on existing permissions model? So let's say you have in your different warehouses, you have applied permissions for roles, for groups, for row level or masking level. For the marketing analyst role, those permissions should be enforced without doing anything, right? So, and then lastly, we want to ensure that the access is based on who you are rather than what you connect to, right? So as me as a marketing analyst with my role, I should be able to access the data from any warehouse based on the permissions that's provided to that particular role. So with that in mind, we are really excited to announce the Amazon Redshift federated permissions. It provides kind of simplified permission management across your multiple warehouse. You define your permission 1, where your data is, and it's enforced across all your warehouses. You can apply your existing set of Redshift permissions model, for example, find and access models such as data masking, column level access, row level access, and those will be applied and enforced as you query in any different warehouse. This provides you improved user experience. Instead of creating data shares, you register your warehouse once into a global catalog, and now all these warehouses will be auto-mounted in all the clusters. And this provides the kind of the horizontal scalability, right? So with the warehouses, you are now bringing the warehouse very quickly, but with this permissions model, you're also getting the data share and getting it access across the different warehouses. And we know that some of the customers already are using kind of local permissions model for specific clusters. And for them, this provides an incremental path of still existing permissions on your local users continue to work, but you can have the global identity-based new model working as well. So the high-level architecture looks like this, where you have multiple warehouses. These warehouses will be registered in the common catalog, which is, in AWS case, is a Glue data catalog. And the new thing is, on that Glue data catalog, you can apply these Redshift editor permissions. And those permissions will be enforced in each of the warehouse as you make the queries. And you can apply these different permission model, whether it's a table level, coarse grain, mass data, column, row level, cell level. Any of this permission model will be applied. and the data is managed through Redshift managed storage based on the S3. So a couple of key concepts here. So if you have a data that you want to share, all you have to do is register with the Glue catalog. It's also called a producer warehouse. If you want to access the data, it's a consuming warehouse. So in that case, you don't have to really do anything. The warehouses will be auto-mounted, and now you can start querying it, querying the data from those warehouses based on the permissions that you have. So the second concept comes here is the global identity, right? Because here we are talking about multiple warehouses. So the local identity, which is per cluster basis, is something that we want to migrate the customers from that to global identity. The two global identity models that are very that customers use is the one is the IAM role, and the second is they may have their own Okta or their own IDP, which they can bring those IDP roles into the IAM identity center, and then apply the permissions on the IDC roles. If you use IAM role or if you use IDC user, in both the cases, it's a trusted identity propagation. So the identity, as it moves, it follows the propagation, follows the trusted services path, and is always logged and available for auditing purposes. And one of the last concepts is the authorization. It's a two-phase authorization. So you are making call from warehouse 1 to warehouse N. Warehouse N, where your data is where your policy stays. And the policies are validated at the warehouse N. And then warehouse 1, where you're actually making the query, that's where the permissions are enforced. So if you have data masking, the columns will be masked at the warehouse 1. And all the coarse grain and fine grain access control permissions will apply. For example, row level security or column level or dynamic masking support. So for admin, what do they have to do to register warehouse? All they have to do is a one-click option to register their warehouse in the Glue catalog. Just by registering, it creates the federated catalog on the Glue catalog side. So for example, here it shows there are multiple warehouses. As they register, the corresponding federated catalog get created. And this federated catalog is auto-mounted on all the warehouses in your account, right? So you have the auto-mounted happening there. Now, as the analyst or anyone who makes a query, the authentication and the token information is propagated through the trusted identity path. So in this case, if you are making a query from warehouse 1 to warehouse N, it knows it passes that token and auth information that through the trusted identity through the Glue catalog to the warehouse N, where the verification happens, the policy is collected, policy is sent back to the warehouse 1, where it's actually getting enforced. All right. All right, so let's look at a demo. This is a new launch, so demo will help in kind of understanding. So for this demo, think about there are two warehouses. There is a marketing warehouse and there is a sales warehouse. Sales warehouse is new. They wanted to get access to marketing warehouse. And so marketing warehouse, all they have to do is start registering their warehouse with the Glue catalog. So it's a one-time thing. And the way it works is a simple option, right? So you have in this case, the warehouse is already created. You go in the actions, and there is option there to register with the Glue catalog. So you select that option, and if you just use the default, you can go and register it. There's another checkbox there where you can go and checkbox that, and it will allow you to set up the IDC as the second identity model. So that's the checkbox over there if you have to do that. So once it's registered, they can go and verify it. For example, here you can see that the Glue catalog is registered and the permissions model is Redshift permissions model, right? So now it is already a part of the catalog, and they can go and start adding the tables. So in this case, the marketing want to create a new table, let's say credit card table, and they want to apply masking policy because they don't want to expose the credit card number to the consumers or whoever is accessing the data. So how do they go about doing that? So let's go and kind of look at the path of creating it. So let me walk through that. So first, As part of the Explorer, it's using we are showing the QEV2. The admin is creating the table. In this case, it's creating a simple table of credit card. Then it's adding certain data, which includes the credit card numbers in it, right? So now the data is populated. Now it's creating a masking policy where the credit card number is masked. Now it's attaching the masking policy to the particular, for the credit card table, to particular role, in this case, analyst role, IAM, right? For admin, if they do SQL query, they see the credit card numbers, right? So for admin, they have full access. So now that they have created that masking information, masking policies, now they decide to grant access. And granting the access is as simple as they just want to grant select access to the analyst role, right? Yeah. So now that completes the kind of administrative part of the marketing admin, right? Which they have gone, created registered the table with the glue catalog, created the table, added the data to it, created the policies, and shared the access. Now, what do you have to do on the sales warehouse side to get access to the data? The answer is sales admin don't have to do anything. Sales analyst will just go to their favorite editor, which is, for example, here they are using the query editor V2, and start querying it. So when they query the data, the query path, as I explained before, it kind of goes from the warehouse 1 to warehouse n, and see the mass data there. It's kind of repeating that same thing. So here is the read-only or analyst role, and they are able to see the different auto-mounted databases here. And for this particular auto-mounted database, they found this table that marketing just created. And for this table, they're just going to query it, right? And so this query that is being run on the sales warehouse is making call to this table in the marketing warehouse. The policy stays with the marketing warehouse, getting enforced in the sales warehouse, right? So that is a path there. And as it is enforced, the masking policy is enforced. No masking setup needed on the sales side. All right, so then there is some governance changes, and there's a new rule or new compliance policies where the marketing admin has to apply additional policies. If the analyst, if he's from a state of California, should only get access to rows which are from the consumers in the state of California, right? So to apply to that across multiple warehouses, previously you have to kind of apply those policies across multiple warehouses. With this, they will have to do it only once. So in this case, with that, to apply that policy, they will have to kind of create the row level policy, attach the row level policy, and enable the row level policy, right? So these are the kind of the 3 steps. So let's look at that. So the admin logs in. In this case, it's creating the RLS policy, where its state is California. It is attaching the RLS policy, where it's providing the table name and the role. And then it's turning on the RLS policy. So row level security policy is now enabled on that particular table. So now that the policy is set up, sales analyst just goes there and start querying it. Now, this particular table has now 2 policies, right? It has masking policy, also it has row level policies. So the output that we'll get is the combination of these 2 policies. So they will continue to have mask result, as you can see, but the rows are only for the state of California, right? So you have this multiple policies that are applied on the producer side, on the marketing side. You don't need explicit data shares, but those are enforced on each of the warehouses. So let's recap this demo. So what we just saw was there's a simplified registration setup. Marketing admin was able to just register with the glue catalog as part of just register with the glue kind of the option of register with the glue catalog. You can, if you want to, they want to create a cluster as part of cluster creation, the similar option applies. So it's the default option that get a warehouse registered with the glue catalog. The fine-grained access control compliance the policies that are needed, data masking and row level security for the credit card information, was applied by the marketing warehouses. It's not needed on any of the consuming warehouse. Once it's applied on the producer warehouse, it just applies. There was improved user experience. When the sales analyst went and accessed it, he saw the auto-mounted warehouses. He saw the tables already accessible, and he can just query the data. And when they query the data, those policies are enforced, so that they will only see the output which is compliant to the policies. And lastly is the horizontal scalability. You can spin up these clusters and warehouses in minutes, and now you don't even have to create additional permissions and policies and shares and users and groups and all those things. The complexity goes away because now you have ability to access it without additional work on the sales administration side. All right, so this is a new launch. It's currently getting rolled out as part of Redshift 197 patch version. So when you create a cluster and if you see the Redshift patch 197, you will have the access to it, and you can start kind of using this capability. We have a documentation page where it provides the kind of information. It provides kind of end-to-end information about how you can go and apply all these set of permissions, how you can go and apply the IAM. What I didn't show in the demonstration is the IDC path, and it's also very easy to set up. We provided a wizard for you to walk through it. So this documentation provides a kind of easy way for you to set up the producer, set up the consumer clusters, and get going on kind of building your warehouses. So thank you for coming to this talk. This is a new feature. We'd like to advise you to try it out and see how it works, provide the feedback. There is a survey in the mobile app, and provide the feedback of the session in that. Thank you.